Insurance, Longview Bank, and State Bank of Beemont.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The Clinton Celebrates America 250 committee is going all out for its planned 4th of July celebration this summer, and one of its events has its registration available now. Jessica Allhands with the committee explains that registration is now open for the July 4th 5K. She tells the Heart Media Group that if you use the code WHOW5 at registration on runsignup.com before May 16th, you will get $5 off the $35 cost.
We are doing a 5K on Saturday, July 4th at 8 a.m. It is open to anybody, runners, walkers. So we will have people that are going to be finishing in 15 minutes, some people that are going to take over an hour. That is perfectly fine. For anybody who's interested in registering for it, you can find us on our Facebook page, Clinton Celebrates America's 250th, or you can go to runsignup.com and search for Clinton, and we'll come up from there. The cost for the race currently is $35. If you register before June 6th, you are guaranteed a t-shirt. Anything after that, we can't guarantee it for you. But for $35, you get a t-shirt and you get to run. So we have over a dozen or so that have already registered. Mm-hmm. We put an initial post out a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. So we're doing really well with that. Okay. The other thing I will chime in as well is that we do have age boards. So we will do top male and female, and then we'll do decade awards. So 0 to 10, 10 to 19, and so on. Mm-hmm. I do want to throw out for listeners that we have right now. So going through 5/16, so May 16th, we're going to do a coupon code for anybody who registers between now and then, for anybody who's listening. So the code is WHOW5 for $5 off. So that'll get you for $30 to enter the race.
There will be 2 packet pickup windows for runners, and limited day of registration will be available. Allhands notes that they will also host a baby race with a $200 prize.
The 5K will start at the square and finish at the square. The in-betweens, we're still working out with the city, so more to be determined on that later. For packet pickup, we are looking at doing 2 different packet pickup options. So Friday night, so the night before, on July 3rd from 5 to 7 p.m., we will be at the info booth that we are going to have set up on the square to come pick up everything for you. You can also stay then we have bands that night. So we have Blonderosa and Brushville playing, or you can come the morning of the race from 7 to 8 a.m. From that time and 7 to 8 a.m., we will have also day of registration, but that will be limited. So try to get it in online beforehand. If you maybe have a child that is not quite up to running size, I do want to throw a pitch out too that we are having a baby race on Saturday morning at 11:45 on the square. Mm-hmm. And so that's for our kids up to 18 months. We're going to have a little crawling race for them. I think it's going to be super adorable. And the winner gets a $200 prize. So nice. Go towards their college fund or whatever they need to have. Registration for that baby race is morning of. For our 5K, it is in advance, like I said, online at runsignup.com.
Is there the option to sign up the morning of the race?
There is, but it's going to be limited.
Okay.
So try to do it beforehand.
Volunteers are still needed for the event. They are asking for help before and after the race, but the race layout will put everyone on the square just in time for the day's America 250 parade and other festivities to begin.
If you're not a runner, we are looking for volunteers. I would love volunteers. Anybody who wants to come play with us, more than welcome. So initial setup is just making sure everybody's there, ready to go. If they have any questions before race, post-race, we will have snacks and a little bit of stuff. I will say too, our race finishes on the square. You should be finishing somewhere around 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, it sets you up for the perfect spot for the parade.
There you go.
So you can come in, finish your race, cool down, take a break, and then get ready to see the parade entrance. And so our t-shirts are being made by AA Custom Design here in town. Mm-hmm. So those are going to be super cool. One of a kind 250th t-shirt. The other thing that we have to do is we have finisher medals. So what we did here is we had Route 51 Creations 3D print us one. So these are super one of a kind. I drew up an image, sent it over to them and said, hey, what can you do to 3D print this? And so this is what they came up with. I'm super pumped. Anybody who finishes, walk, run, roll, anything you want to. So that will be for everybody as well. And like I said, we will have after 5K snacks and everything as well.
Okay, sure.
So if anybody has any questions, like I said, reach out to us on the Facebook page.
Registration is already open for the July 4th 5K race. Register at runsignup.com, and again, use the code WHOW5 for $5 off before May 16th. Learn more about the race by visiting the Clinton Celebrates America 250 Facebook page. A Piatt County Sheriff's Office is in the process of revitalizing its canine program, anticipating a new canine and handler on the streets by next spring. Sheriff Mark Vogelsang explains since the retirement of their former canine, Cato, roughly 2 years ago, the department has been looking for the right opportunity to rebuild the program. Deputy Connor Brody has been selected as the department's newest canine handler and is currently awaiting a position in the training academy.
We're in the process. I think most people know Sergeant Williams, Stu Williams. He was a canine handler for many, many years, but about 2 years ago, we retired Cato, just getting older. We have a fairly young department, so we weren't in a big hurry to get a new canine, but we have selected a new handler, which is Connor Brody. There's been some issues trying to get into an academy. Obviously, it's ISP is probably where we choose to send them, but they're going through some process of rebuilding their academy. They're getting a new one, so they have a limit on who can go. So the earliest we can get in for an academy will be next spring.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a little bit of time yet. We're working to get the car up and running with the canine kennel and stuff like that. But hopefully by next spring, we'll have a new canine on the street.
The transition to a new canine involves more than just selecting a dog. It requires choosing an experienced handler who understands the legal and operational responsibilities. Sheriff Vogelsang notes the role demands a significant time commitment outside of normal working hours, as the handler is responsible for the dog's ongoing training and well-being.
You know, the younger officers, you're still learning a lot. I mean, just everyday patrol, there's a lot to learn. When you select a canine handler, obviously there's a lot of liability involved in that. There are more unique circumstances when a dog is involved, and you want somebody that has a good foundation within law enforcement, knows policies and procedures, knows the laws as it relates to the canine. So you want to get somebody with some experience in that position. Currently in investigations, I think he likes the Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 aspect of that job. He is also currently a sergeant. It's one of those things too. It's nice to have a well-rounded department. He said that he kind of put that time in and is wanting to allow somebody else that opportunity. You know, it's one of those things that in my career, I always thought I wanted to be a canine handler. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of work done with that dog outside of normal business hours. And if you want a good dog, you're having to put in a lot of extra time that you're not getting paid for. I've seen a lot of very, very good dogs, and those handlers are extremely passionate when it comes to the canine program.
Beyond their role, the department is considering several training academies, with the Illinois State Police Academy being a top choice. However, limited space in these programs means the earliest Deputy Brody and his new partner can begin their 8-week training is next spring.
Like I said, we initially reached out to the Illinois State Police. They've got a great program, but currently they're only allowing one new handler in each class from an agency outside of the Illinois State Police. So obviously you can imagine throughout the entire state, those filled up quick. We looked at an academy up north, and once we get closer to it, that department that hosts the training will meet with the canine handler. And I'm also going to send Sergeant Williams up there as well, because he will be overseeing the the canine program, given that he's got so much experience. And then they try to pick a dog that's a good fit with that particular handler. So we'll use this time between now and next spring to send Deputy Brody to any class that might be related to, drug interdiction, anything with legal updates, especially if it's involving a canine. But really, it's not until he goes to that class that he will do anything with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
He won't meet the dog until right before that class starts. No, it'll be ready to go once he gets up north and is ready for the class. They will go through those 8 weeks, and if everything goes well and they get certified, they'll be out on the street ready to work.
Well, that's no fun. What?
Beyond their role in law enforcement, canines serve as a vital connection between the sheriff's office and the community. Sheriff Vogelzang highlighted the popularity of canine demonstrations at local schools and events where the dogs can showcase their skills in tracking and apprehension.
Whether it's tracking, we haven't really had any apprehensions over the years with our canine, but it's also a good tool to get out and meet kids and do demonstrations. It's always a popular request to have the canine come in. I think you have had Stu on before, and he always talked about the Cato copter, where he would take his dog and put it on a ball and kind of spin him around. It's always a big request for demonstrations with the canine.
Yeah, for sure.
Even going back to the German Shepherds and Malinois, there's definitely a difference in those. The Malinois tend to be more hyper. I don't know, have you ever seen anybody catch a dog when they use the bite sleeve? A lot of times when you're training, you have to put that bite sleeve on, and then they will send the dog in to search a building. And then if that canine decoy, is not cooperative, that dog is sent in to do a bite. It's just part of the training. But the German Shepherds tend to, I remember I used to do it every now and then. The German Shepherds would run alongside you, reach up and bite, where a Malinois tends to launch. There's definitely a difference in the types of dogs.
Once certified, the new K9 team will be a versatile asset for the Piatt County Sheriff's Office, providing specialized support for everything from tracking missing persons to narcotics detection. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
It's the quiet moments you count on. A call that connects instantly, a show that never buffers, a home that just works. That's the difference with Connexus Fiber Internet. We built a buried fiber network designed for consistency, earning us the title of top-rated fiber internet provider in Illinois. With plans starting as low as $25 a month and 3-year price lock options, it's reliability you can feel without the unpredictability. Because with Connexus, connection means everything. Experience better at Connexus.com. Nothing Connexus like Connexus.
News time is 25 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Nothing adds to a summer meal like organic produce that was grown right in your own backyard. Terry Casey, University of Illinois Extension Director in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, explains that on Tuesday they will be hosting a free webinar at 1:30 p.m. all about growing vegetables in your garden. This program will help you get the season started with all the latest research-based information.
We're going to talk about vegetables and gardening and all things green. So on May 12th from 1:30 to 2:30, again, a free online webinar, we are going to unveil the new flavors of 2026. Now, you think that this is fashion season, right? And everybody's going to unveil the new fashions. Well, for Extension, our new fashions are new vegetable varieties. So for folks attending this webinar, They're going to be able to be among the first to discover some of the latest in vegetable gardening trends and get ready to transform their kitchens with a harvest of vibrant and enticing produce. So we know folks like to keep it fresh. Our hardcore gardeners out there are always looking forward every year to not only their old favorites, but what they can do new, something fun, something. I always say that once we get into growing season, you got to lock your cars in the Midwest, not because they're going to get stolen, because if you don't, they'll be crammed full of vegetables from people who just decide extra produce that somebody has raised.
Oh, Terry.
So maybe I'm lucky. But hey, this year, you can learn all the new flavors. So your neighbors will be excited when they get bags of exotic new vegetables to try out.
Casey indicates that from the Master Gardeners program to their free webinars, they have noticed their gardening resources becoming more popular.
I think it's just fun. It's just fun to see some of the new varieties that are coming out. We know that there's been a lot of interest in heirloom varieties and some of the new ones coming in from all over. So it's just going to be kind of a fun opportunity for gardeners to check out some new options. I think since COVID especially, we've seen just a lot more interest in gardening. I think it brought a whole new generation of gardeners to the forefront because folks had time. And some of those people, it was a fad. But for many of them, they've stuck with it and they really enjoyed gardening. And I think there's a renewed sense of the idea of preparing our own foods and being really involved in that. And it's multi-generational. So yeah, I think we are definitely seeing even an increased interest. Absolutely. It's May 12th, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. You can register online and it's free.
If you're looking to improve your green thumb this summer, register for the vegetable gardening webinar and find all the extension's resources at extension.illinois.edu/LMS. Illinois has been in a pretty good spot for replenishing soil moisture this spring, while other areas of the country continue to struggle.
We've been kind of in a pattern that's been very favorable, really from Texas up through the Great Lakes has been kind of the zone for a while. And, we had some pretty significant drought over the winter. We've been able to eliminate that basically outside, except for right across the Ohio Valley. That might even eliminate itself when we get the update on Thursday, because we've had some pretty good rain down there too recently. So we'll see if that is completely gone across the state here, which would be pretty amazing to have no drought in the state after what we had over the winter. So I mean that's good news, but I mean we've just been in a pattern that's been very busy. And outside of some flooding across local streams and some of the heavier thunderstorms that come around and kind of flood things out a bit, overall it hasn't been egregious, and it hasn't been crazy with the rainfall. It's been really solid, really good, but nothing too dramatic at this point.
DTN ag meteorologist John Baranek says other areas of the country have not been so fortunate, including the southeast and plains, which are being impacted by drought concerns this spring. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news is now.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. This week's victories in GOP primaries in several states are bolstering House Speaker Mike Johnson's belief that this fall's election outlook does remain positive for Republicans. When it comes to his blueprint for ending the Iran war, President Trump says it's simple. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The president says talks with Iran continue. The United Arab Emirates says its military has responded to drone and missile attacks from Iran. Hours earlier, the U.S. military says it fended off Iranian attacks on 3 Navy ships in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says the Iranian attackers completely destroyed. Spanish crews ready to receive more than 140 passengers and crew members from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship currently headed to the Canary Islands. Stock futures higher on Wall Street, and this is SRN News.
If you're hearing my voice, chances are you're either worried about a parent living alone or you are that parent. And you know your family worries about you too. Either way, there's a company that finally got senior safety right. Connected Caregiver. Connected Caregiver is everything you knew about alert devices, fall detection, emergency button, GPS, reimagined for today. There's a small wearable that alerts your family's phone the moment something happens. Inside your home, discrete sensors, no cameras, no microphones, just motion sensors have you covered even when you're not wearing it. No movement for hours, your loved ones will know. For the kids, you go from hoping everything's okay to knowing it is. And for you, you stay in your home on your terms while giving your precious family the peace of mind they've been asking for. That's not losing independence, that's keeping it. Visit ccgoffer.com to see if you qualify for a free device. It takes 2 minutes. That's ccgoffer.com, ccgoffer.com. Do it today.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Michael Conforto went 3 for 3 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Shoto Imanaga pitched 6 innings of 1-run ball, and the Chicago Cubs extended their winning streak to 9 games with an 8-3 win over the Cincinnati Reds on Thursday. The Cubs completed a 4-game sweep of the Reds and won their 15th straight game at Wrigley Field for their longest home winning streak since 1935. The Cubs are 26-12 and seized control by scoring 7 runs in the 4th inning. Red starter Rhett Lauder left the game in the inning with what the team said was right shoulder tightness. The Reds are 20-18 and lost their 7th straight. Imanaga, who threw 7 scoreless innings in his previous start, extended that run to 12 innings before Saul Stewart hit a solo homer in the 6th. The 32-year-old left-hander allowed 4 hits and 3 walks while striking out 10 for his 5th career double-digit strikeout game. Lauder walked the first 2 batters of the 4th before leaving with a 1-0 count to Michael Busch. Reliever Connor Phillips allowed both inherited runners to score as the Cubs pushed 7 runs across for their highest scoring inning of the season. Conforto in the lineup to give Seiya Suzuki a day off in right field hit his 2nd home run of the season off Lauder in the bottom of the 2nd. He also slammed into the wall to make an inning-ending catch in the 5th with 2 runners on base. Ian Happ walked in the bottom of the 4th to extend his on-base streak to 28 games, the 2nd longest active streak in the MLB. Earlier Thursday, the Cubs called up reliever Gavin Hollowell from AAA Iowa and designated Corbin Martin for assignment. Hollowell allowed a solo home run to Blake Dunn in the 8th and an RBI double to J.J. Bleday in the 9th, before Daniel Palencia entered to get the final out for his 2nd save. Reds lefty Nick Lodolo will make his season debut against the visiting Houston Astros on Friday. Chicago has not named a starter for Friday's game at Texas. Jordan Walker doubled and scored the tie-breaking run on Mason Wynn's triple in the 7th inning of the St. Louis Cardinals' 2-1 victory over the San Diego Padres on Thursday night. Alec Burleson homered in the opener of a 7-game California trip for the Cardinals, who have won 8 of 10. Matthew Liberatore yielded 3 hits and 3 walks over 6 innings with 6 strikeouts for St. Louis. His bullpen gave up 1 hit while facing the minimum 9 batters, with Riley O'Brien pitching the 9th for his 11th save in 13 opportunities. After starter Michael King pitched 6 innings of 1-hit ball for San Diego, Walker led off the 7th against rookie Bradley Rodriguez with a double off the wall. Walker scored when Nick Castellanos tried and failed to make a diving catch on Wynn's tailing fly to right field. Xander Bogaerts drove in a run in the 1st inning for the Padres, who opened a 4-game series with their 6th loss in their last 8 home games. San Diego has dropped 6 of 9 overall. King issued 2 walks and struck out 6, but Burleson pulled a changeup out to right in the 4th. Manny Machado drew a 2-out walk and eventually scored on Bogart's check swing single in the first. Padres catcher Rodolfo Duran made his major league debut after spending parts of 12 seasons in the minors, going 0-3. The 28-year-old Duran ripped a 380-foot drive in the sixth with a 107.9 mile-per-hour exit velocity, but Victor Scott II caught it deep in center field. Duran then threw out Scott in the eighth when he tried to steal second. Griffin Canning makes his second start for the Padres after a solid 5-inning debut. The Cards counter with Michael McGreevy, who grew up an hour north of Petco Park in San Clemente, California. The Illinois State baseball program heads to Chicago for its final Missouri Valley Conference Series with UIC at Les Miller Field at Curtis Granderson Stadium. The 3-game series set will begin on Friday with the first pitch slated for 6:02 p.m. and will be nationally televised on ESPNU. In the Redbirds' last appearance on national television, Illinois State secured a 14-4 victory in 8 innings over Evansville on April 13, 2025. The Redbirds enter the week with a midweek defeat to Northwestern on Tuesday afternoon in Evanston. That snapped an 8-game win streak, the second longest of the campaign. Despite the midweek loss, Illinois State has captured back-to-back sweeps in MVC play over Bradley and Valparaiso. Braden Bakes and Michael Carano Jr. earned MVC weekly honors for their contributions in the Redbirds' sweep over Valparaiso. Bakes received his league-best 4th MVC Player of the Week selection with a combined 6-for-11 performance with 6 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a pair of extra base hits, including a home run. Carano Jr. received his first career weekly award selection after earning MVC Newcomer of the Week honors for his performance in the series with the Beacons. The Burbank, Illinois native recorded a career best effort with 4 hits and 4 RBIs in the Redbirds' 14-2 victory on Saturday. On Sunday, Carano Jr. followed his Saturday performance with 3 hits and a pair of RBIs. The Flames enter the weekend after dropping their midweek contest on Wednesday afternoon to Milwaukee 12-6. Despite Wednesday's defeat, UIC claimed a series victory over Evansville with a pair of victories over the Purple Aces last weekend. Sean McDermott leads the Flames in his 5th season at the helm of the program and has been a member of the coaching staff for 27 seasons. Junior first baseman Ashton Kampa headlines the Flames offense with a .348 batting average and a .710 slugging percentage. The Fighting Illini wrap up their home schedule with a 3-game series against in-state conference rival Northwestern. Friday's first pitch is set for 6 p.m. Central. Saturday's game is at 5:30 p.m. Central, and Sunday's series finale is slated for 1 p.m. Central. The Fighting Illini opened their final homestand of the season with a 10-2 win over Bradley on Wednesday night at Illinois Field. Northwestern arrives in Champaign with a 20-25-1 record, including a 17-7 mark in Big Ten play. The Wildcats enter the weekend on a 3-game winning streak, taking the final 2 games of its series against Indiana before defeating Illinois State on Tuesday. At the plate, Northwestern is led by 2 qualified hitters with a .300 average or better. Outfielder Jack Lausch leads the way with a .313 batting average to go alongside team highs in home runs with 13 and RBIs with 38. Infielder Noah Ruiz is hitting .305 with 7 homers and 38 RBIs. The Wildcats feature 3 players with double-digit home runs: Lausch, Ryan Kerchek, the infielder, with 10, and infielder Owen McElpatrick. The Northwestern pitching staff has a combined 7.06 ERA on the year. Projected Friday starter lefty Ryan Weaver is 1-6 on the season with a 6.97 ERA and a 1.55 WHIP. While he leads the team with 62 innings pitched and 49 strikeouts, The Wildcats expect Saturday's starter will be right-hander Matt Kauser, who is 2-5 with a 5.04 ERA and a 1.66 WHIP. Sunday's starter is still to be determined. Illinois and Northwestern have played over 270 times in the all-time series, which dates back to the 19th century. Illinois holds a 183-94 advantage over the Wildcats, though Northwestern won last season's series. The Illini have swept the Wildcats in each of their last two series at Illinois Field. In MLB scores from yesterday, the New York Yankees beat the Texas Rangers 9-2, while the Washington Nationals took down the Minnesota Twins 7-5. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Kansas City Royals 8-5, while the Colorado Rockies took down the New York Mets 6-2. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2, while the Athletics routed the Philadelphia Phillies 12-1. The Miami Marlins beat the Baltimore Orioles 4-3, and the Tampa Bay Rays took down the Boston Red Sox 8-4. In NBA playoff scores from yesterday, the top-seeded Detroit Pistons beat the fourth-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers 107-97, while the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder took down the fourth-seeded LA Lakers 125-107. The NHL playoffs last night, the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Philadelphia Flyers 4-1. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Chance for showers today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 67. Southwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain showers tonight, lows level off around 50. Cloudy skies